Okay, so we're just going to be looking at the learning circle. So in our development in chess, for me personally, it's looking at there's dips in performances, and then you have highs in performance, and then you have neutral types of development. And at each stage, you're probably going to suffer quite a lot of downsides, a lot of losses when you're trying to practice, things that are I don't think we want to be doing that, do we? When you're practicing the results from your evaluations and you're trying to put it all together, just based on my own experience, and when you've got quite a lot of development that you've picked up over the games that you've played over the board and online, it can take a while for all of them to gel in. So it could be like a combination of lots of aspects that you're working on, that one bit comes in at one stage and another bit comes in at another stage. So this is why it's slower in developing. Double the pawns. So there's a lot of congruent type of activities going on within my mind when I'm learning the processes of trying to develop within my own chess world. So this is why I'm comfortable with taking the losses in terms of so long as I understand how the loss occurred. If it's my error, majority of the time it is really my error lately, which is a good thing, because then at least it's not that the opponent's finding magical moves or things that I don't know anything about. I know about everything that is happening on the board now, which is good. Whether I'm doing the right maneuvers to counteract what's happening on the board or to give myself further advantages, that's the part that I'm practicing and learning. I'm going to lock the center down. It's got double pawns here. So that's the aspect of the way that I'm creating and trying to develop my own skills in. I can afford to trade. We're only +1, but we're going to double here. Just make space for the rooks on this file, if we can. So it's accepting that, yes, you're going to lose, and we're going to take them, fair enough. Accepting that you can lose in the game of chess, and he's on this pawn, so I think our bishop might want to get into some activity. Might have to come back, could push up, but then he's going to get the pawn. The rook comes down, we can go and actually put a check on the king. King can move. Is there anything else? Is there anything else? I don't really mind bringing the bishop back per se, because he's still got his pieces on the back. So learning from those types of games and analyses, I mean, like bringing the bishop back here, it's like knowing what is actually happening with the opponent. It's not saying we're going to win, but we feel more comfortable that at least we are allowed to do these types of maneuvers. So there's no shocks or anything. It's about being flexible in the game and using a type of concept at any given moment, any given time. Playing over the board, same type of thing. It's just a matter of not getting giddy. Because I know for me, I get giddy when I'm playing over the board, because I don't play over the board that often. I'm looking to change that in the latter part of maybe this chess season, and definitely for the next season, looking to play a bit more games to get into it. Was feeling very confident about what we're working on. It's not saying we're going to win anything, but very happy with my development so far within the game. So I'm going to just take this at this moment. Probably going to move the knight so the bishop's protecting this pawn. So how am I? Yes, so he's moved the. How am I developing my pieces, my game? In this particular game here, every game is a learning game. That is the key thing I'm telling myself all the time. Every game is a learning game. I'm going to push this now just to support the pawn. And once I'm in that mindset now, which I'm starting to do, which is every game is a learning game. It's not a matter of what you've learned in the past. How can you do it in the game? It's about actually being in the game, and we are actually learning as we're going through. So simple capture here. And so at the minute we are +2, but it doesn't mean we've won anything just because we are +2. Our position is still a little bit jammed in at the moment. We can now release our bishop, but can we release the knight first? Is the knight coming here or not? Looks like it's going to get hit anyway. Could bring the bishop here on the fianchetto line. May as well do that, just bring it off here, and if there's something going to be opening up at some point. So all the principles, the concepts and things like that, he's moving the rook back, don't know why, but we're not going to be pushing this because he's going to take the pawn, so this is probably why he's staying on there, so it stops us from pushing here. But if we get this rook behind this pawn, we can bring the bishop here and start pushing maybe. Square bishop's not really hitting anything apart from the knight. I'm going to bring the rook here to eventually support the pawn if we're going to be pushing up. Their bishop looks like it's staying there. Okay, they're attacking this pawn. We can bring the knight around now and just support the pawn and start pushing and pushing. I'm going to bring the knight back. So another piece that's come onto the back, the knight, the bishop came on the back supporting the pawn. And now they're starting their own attack looking towards our king area. Could be a bit dangerous. Takes. Or do we just support? If we support, maybe he just locks down. I'm just going to go like this. It does take, so we can take here. That gives him the file, but we can look to be opposite with our rook as well. I'm going to take with this one, seeing as our rooks are linked on this side. Trying to use the double pawn situation against them, so they are actually down and attacking the bishop. I'm going to bring the bishop here, just attacking. If they forget themselves, the knight is there. Gives us time to actually attack the rook. Let's come to this square. I'm just wondering if there's anything there, but I don't think there is, so I think we'll just bring the rook here, trying to own the file. Look then just to attack the rook. Probably try and hide here. This pawn is free. The bishop may go and defend. We could have taken that with the bishop then. Again, that's the tunnel vision thing of looking at the key things. Okay, so if we do take here, and they take, this rook then puts a check on the king. And he's got this whammy situation, although the knight is protecting. Or we can just push past. But I'm going to take the pawn. Shame the king's on a dark square. We've only got a white square bishop. I think the motor set to still take. Get at least a check on the king. Alright, so they're not doing that, so we can push up. Supported by the bishop. Motor set to push down. Just trying to block off their attempts. Maybe, no, none of that. The rook can take the pawn. Not going for the pawn just yet. So we don't need to rush to do anything. We can. Knight up, pawn take, king takes. Nobody's got the 2 on, but the knight is protecting here, so it can't go there. But we were just going to push the pawn. Pawn is still available. What's the rook? Rook can't get in there because the bishop's protecting that square. Can't go here because the pawn's protecting that square, so that pawn's going. I think it does free the knight anyway, so the knight can come here. It's attacking the pawn. So if the rook takes in, it's going to have a 2-on-1 on the pawn. Which is what they will probably do. So, knight here. Rook takes the pawn. Maybe not there then. Knight there. Attacking this pawn. Okay, knight here attacking this pawn. Defending this pawn for a brief moment. Twice with the bishop and the knight. Also got a bit of an attack here going. So as usual, it's a learning game. Every game is a learning game because it's different, and we have to try and utilize the concepts as best possible, what we've learned from the experiences of the analyses, actively trying to improve our own performance. Again, it's not saying we're winning anything. This opponent played a very strange type of, oh my gosh. This pawn is blocking the way though, isn't it? So we can take, yeah, we can take, there's no check, even if he pushes down, surely. Going for the pawn at last, right, okay, so we can go here, which would then be attacking the rook. Is the rook sacrificing itself? Going to take. It is sacrificing itself. Damn. Alright, what have I missed? What have I missed? Takes, bishop takes. Got to check on the king. King moves, knight's in a nice spot, can attack the bishop. King's protected by their pawn at the moment. Bishop moves, maybe to attack the rook. Got to check on the king. Oh no, because we'll lose the knight. Woohoo! Take. And we can take. And it looks like they've given up now. Excellent. Okay, so the idea of the learning circle, the 3 elements, the dips, the losses, the bad games, the good games, but still losing, whichever way, like on the negative side. And then you've got the wins or the advantages, or the games that were really good, even though you may have lost, but because it was your mistake type thing, and you know what went wrong, it was a really good game anyway. So in those terms there, it's like an internal victory for yourself. So those games are good, so I class them as the positives. And also the normal winning or advantages in games, etc., and the opponent capitulates, still getting a win out of that type of thing. And then there's the neutral ones where it's like you're plateauing, like it's like, well, what happened there? Class them as like your draws. Yeah, the draws can be a heartache in terms of, could you have got a win out of it? Or did you save a bad game and the opponent could have got a win out of it, but they just didn't see it? So those sort of situations can cause angst. You can put some of the draws into the lower bracket of the dips, and you can put some of the draws into the higher bracket of the, yeah, that was potentially a good game. I just didn't want to take the risk of going for the win, but I could have done. I have developed and I appreciate good losses, and I understand bad losses. So my learning circle seems to be not complete, but it's getting a better understanding of my learning and then my development within my chess